Today we're in France at the enchanting country home of Cordelia de Castellane. A designer and businesswoman, she's the artistic director of Dior Maison and Baby Dior. Since purchasing this centuries-old estate, Cordelia has been slowly bringing it back to life, filling its rooms with rich textiles, floral wallpapers, and bold, playful prints to create a whimsical family retreat steeped in history and character. Outside her magical garden, the inspiration for her book Flower Couture, From My Garden to My House, blooms with the last of the season's flowers. Cordelia's paradise is more than a home. It's a place that's ever blossoming, a reflection of her playful imagination and creative spirit. To watch Cordelia's episode ad-free, scan the QR code on screen or visit homeworthyplus.com. For access to all of our latest episodes ad-free and to receive other exclusive membership perks. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hello, Homeworthy, and welcome in my house. I'm Cordelia de Castellane, and I'll take you for a tour. I'm interior designer and I'm also the creative director for Dior Maison and Baby Dior for more than 15 years. So here my house is a bit my little paradise on earth. It's a place that I found 8 years ago, which is 1 hour from Paris. It's a very old house from 15th to 18th century. It's quite authentic and it's a place that I'm restoring slowly by slowly, years after years, and where I grew that garden who's really the base of my life. So here we are. This is the small hallway, the little entrance. Actually, we have 3 entrances in the house. We have this one, who's a bit for us every day, the guests. Then we have another one who's around the corner there, who's the boot room with all our boots and coats. When we come back, you know, full of meadow because we are all taking big walks and being a lot in the garden, especially us, the gardeners. And we have one by the kitchen, which is directly in the kitchen, especially for the dogs. So this little hallway is very small. I wanted to make it something a bit cute, very simple. So white fabrics as curtains, very easy. You put them in the washing machine so they can be, washed very often. I love those ferns. I try to keep them as much as I can. I love ferns in entrance. It reminds me of my grandmother. And actually I have that beautiful 60s rattan furniture that I found in Italy that I really love. And on the wall, you can see those little checks. I found that at the fabric market, and they are shirts fabric. So they are not for interiors, they are really for shirts. And I love the size of the little Vichy like that. I always love Vichy, those little checks. I found they are so chic in blue, in green. And you can have them bigger, smaller. I think it's always chic at the country south. And it's a very simple entrance, the lanterne, very 18th century, the beautiful doors in wood. So I kept it very simple. Usually, we don't put any mirror in front of a door because they say that not good for the energy. But I thought that the garden was so beautiful, the reflection in it, that I said, okay, leave it. And what I like also is to never leave any corners of the house not study. So if you see, there is a little corridor here who brings us to the kitchen, and I have my basket on the ceiling. I have a beautiful paintings with 18th century lampshades, applique on wall lamps on the wall. And for me, it's very important that we take care of each corner. I don't like, oh, we cannot see it every day, so we don't take care of it. When people go around the house, each piece of the house has to be taken care of. When I first saw the house, I always said that I felt in love with that house like we fell in love with a man. And I mean, she was already beautiful and there was not much to do. There was a lot of restoring, so all the things that you don't see. But I think it's what is invisible that is beautiful when you are redoing a house, to make it comfortable, to make it soft when you are, you know, you need to be feeling well when you arrive in a house like that. It's a very old lady. So yeah, we had a lot of restoration, but she was already beautiful. We changed the fabric, we restored the floors, lots of electricity, plumbers, windows to make it warm the winter, things that you don't see, but also beautiful curtains. I wanted to keep it very 18th century. It was a house which was really mainly 18th century, so you know, I didn't want to go too modern, and I did a lot of choice of aesthetic to keep it like if it was always there. That was very important because she was already beautiful, so I had to leave it like she was, but better. So here we are. This is my white living room. It's actually one of my favorite places. First of all, I didn't change the fabric. The fabric was absolutely divine. So I restored it, I cleaned it. I had to buy new pieces for some of the parts. It's a very old fabric and I really enjoy it. And what I love about that room is that we have the garden coming in from every side because we are having a double exposition. So we're having the sun getting up there and to go and sleep here. So the light is absolutely exquisite. And at night, yesterday night, the whole living room was pink because the sky was pink and the light was like really magical. It's a place who I wanted like a living room because I don't want to have like a dining room formal. We have this little table that we can get bigger and be a lot around it, but actually we use more the other side. And we have that living room space who's very fresh with a beautiful coffee table who's done by Joy de Ranchabot. She's a French artist. She sculpted to remind the apple trees that I have in my garden just in front. As I was telling you, I love when the gardens and the interiors speak together and that there is a connection. So that's a very strong connection that we have between the apple tree who's here and my coffee table. And I also mixed it. We have like Venetian furniture. We have a very great artist, French contemporary, who had done that mirror, which is all done by wooden pieces that I found in a gallery. He's a very contemporary artist who works in the forest. It's super fragile. It's a piece of the forest who is coming in the living room. So you see, it's a lot of mix. Those are 17th century. That was in the family. Nobody wanted it, and I took. And they said nobody wants clocks like that. I said no. For me, it's super cute. I'll take it. So this is a Swedish 19th century furniture where I arrange all my tablecloths. So it's a big mix, this room. I love big mix. And I must say that I learned that from my mom, and she was a lot inspired by Henri Samuel, who's a very big French designer. And he used to, to mix things like no one. And my mom did that all her life, and she was always mixing new and old and things who come from those countries and centuries and origins, and it's something that I love playing with. On the wall here, you can see she's a Korean artist, and I thought to have that very 18th century fabric, very quite girly, with those paintings, very fresh and very contemporary, was breaking a bit the thing that looks like too much like at my grandmother's house, So it's a mix done with things that I found in flea market, things that I have from my family, things from artists, things which are memories. Those little pairs of mirror behind here, who's around that beautiful. I love this one. Look how beautiful. Open or close. It's so beautiful. You can see the flowers in transparent. It's a very beautiful one. It's Venetian. It's all, with mirror sculpted. And I use it to put all the flowers here. And I have family old pictures. And I have all those boxes, which are from memories from big weddings or christening, from Lagacan, and for beautiful balls, I went or my parents went, and I collect them. And those, it doesn't exist anymore. Those little tiny details that you have in balls and everything, they are the ones from my sister's weddings. I mean, there's a lot of things there. It's full of little memories with pictures of the family. And we have all the collection here of the vase de Clichy that I love, with all my dahlias. I love those. I collect them. I have some every colors. I have tons of them. You can buy them on eBay or wherever you want. I mean, they don't cost much, and they are so nice and decorative. I have those full sculpture, and those full sculpture were in my grandmother's library, and I used to look at them for hours. And I think they are the origin of why I love fashion. I was looking at their dresses for hours. I was a unique child. I didn't grow up with sisters or brothers, so I was a lot with my grandparents and with my parents. And I was sometimes bored, but not bored in a bad way, in a very good way. And I had to have a lot of imagination not to be bored, and those were part of it. And I was having so much imagination of the life of those four women. And so my grandmother knew that I loved them, and she gave it to me. And so they follow me everywhere, and I really love them. And maybe they're a bit désuet, and they're not something that I would buy today, but they are part of me, and I really love to have them here. And those murals were found in the south of France. And so here we have a little pair of murals. So what I love is that that's a beautiful furniture. It's really a masterpiece. And here we have those little murals who looks absolutely divine. But I think I paid them 50 euros in the south of France, near Avignon. So I love those kind of contrast and playing with that. I don't think that doing decoration should be only having expensive things. I think it's a kind of mix and things that you put together. And if you have a good eye and you bring home things that you like, prices are not important. That's a beautiful vase that I had designed for Dior with the lily of the valley. They are vases from Dior, and I love designing those. And I have all the plates matching and everything. And sometimes I love to bring home things that I had designed because I took pleasure about it and I'm proud of it. So I don't like to have like a showroom because I think it wouldn't work, but to have few pieces that I had done with my team is always a nice memory of my work. Older house has that very old tomate that I love. That's why I'm not putting huge carpet. I'm putting those carpets which are very old carpets from East countries, Russian, most of them. And I really love them. They are quite unique. And you will see in the other living room, I even mixed them. Oh, hi, Mowgli. Hi, my love. Yeah, it's a house which is not fragile because we have lots of dogs and lots of kids, and we are all coming in with boots and everything. So, it's not a fragile house. I also collect a lot of laces. I obsess with bed lace, bed sheet laces and tablecloths in lace. I will show you in my room. I have many also. I found a lot of them at the flea market. Sometimes I dye them with colors and I play with them. But I know it's quite old-fashioned, but I think it's super romantic here. It's a bit my Gilded Age passion. So I think this house was where the priests were living, at maybe the 14th, 15th century. We found pieces from the 15th century. There's a church at the end of the garden, and I think the priests were living here. I mean, I did few research, and there was also water who was just in front of the house. Now it's a little road who goes from one meadow to the other. So the rooms are quite cozy. They are quite simple. What I like about the house, it's not a huge house. It's a house who's very human, where you feel well inside. And When I bought it, my son was climbing on the arcs. You will in the garden there is this beautiful arc, and he found some initials on it, and I could see that it was not a very long time initial. It was not initials from the 18th century. So we went to the city hall and we asked who was there, you know, I mean, in the middle of the century, like 1960, 70. And we find out that it was a French lady who was a designer, a textile designer, and she was very well known here in France, and her name was Primrose Bordier. And she built the Jacquard Français, who was a huge company that still exists today. She was the first woman who was a designer of textile, and she had like a very strong DNA with flowers and everything. So when I understood that, I had the house already for 1 year. The house had no name. Of course, it was like, you know, like a little lucky charm for me that a woman like her was in this house, and I could understand why I felt so inspired in that house. I think the walls were talking to me, and I think that's why I love that house from day one, and that's why I create everything here. And so, of course, the house took the name of Primrose, and that's why the house name is Primrose. That living room is quite fresh with a lot of light. We spend a lot of time. We have also the table of games for backgammon and everything, because I think all places should live completely, especially when you have a big family. And here is a much more cozy living room. It's a place where we spend a lot of times at night. So this is the second living room, which is actually the place where we stay a lot at night, before and after dinner, a lot in the winter because we have the fireplace. I think it's actually one of the oldest rooms of the house. We can say that because of the stones we find behind the wall when we start, you know, renovating everything. We have here beautiful fabrics which were belonging to Emmanuel Ungaro fabrics in the 70s. It's actually a gift from my stepmom, who was also working with him all her life. So I really cherish them. They are not new, but they fit so well here, and I take care of them. You have no idea of how soft and beautiful is that fabric. I think those quality we cannot find anymore. And here we have a very old Janssen sofa. I kind of like sometimes to find, you know, those are the Janssen sofa. I kind of like to have things that I don't need to recover, which are in a good state, of course, and you have to check that the quality, that they are healthy. But I like to bring things that doesn't really match the curtains and everything. Well, those sofas were matching, of course, the curtains, but you know, this is breaking completely the balance of the room. And this was also to a friend of my dad, and you know, I was looking for something like that, and I quite like that it's quite old. You know, it makes the room that it was always there, and that, you know, we didn't do something matching exactly the places. So those two little chairs, I found that in a beautiful antique place. They are Napoleon III. I love them, and they match with that little table Napoleon III. So we have that little corner, a bit Napoleon III, in the middle of that disaster. And I wanted to be a big carpet, so I used 3 of them, who are also the same as the one you saw in the other room, which are completely East countries, beautiful kilims, very old ones. It's actually something that I saw in a castle in England, and I said, oh, that Duchess is so chic and she does it, I can do it as well. And why not? So here I have a beautiful clock with my dahlias from my garden, 2 lamps contemporary who match 2 Venetian very old mirrors. So you see, I'm playing with the things. I love to mix new and old. Those were in my house in Switzerland when I was a young girl. Those candlesticks were to my grandmother, and you know, I thought they were really nice here, so I took them here. I like them. They just have the idea like a lamp, and I put them together. I don't like things by 2 very stick like that. I like 1, 3, or 5. or I'm perfectly symmetric. But if I have to put a group too, I don't know. I found it too square, so I like 1, 3, and 5. So here they are the 5 and not matching exactly. And then I have those beautiful vases. And I can tell you I'm always waiting for the irises to come, because when they come, I play with that table, I empty everything and I put all of those vases with irises and with my irises collection. So I play a lot with the flowers as decoration. Behind I have a little Aubusson tapisserie. Actually, you know, sometimes it can be a bit old in a place, but I thought that with the lamp, and this lamp was also very contemporary, it would work. And I use big baskets to put, you know, all the games and the thing for the chimney and all the stock that doesn't make the living room messy, but are still something that we're using, which is alive. It's not something that is just for pictures, you know, we're really in that room, and that's why I'm showing my house very naturally, you know. And this is the little rolling things that I'm using for the chimney, you see. So we are rolling the newspaper. I found that always very nice. I like those kind of details. Devils are in details. And this is my tapisserie. This is my games. I do a lot of tapisserie, like a granny. And at night, we are having big conversation here with the kids, and I'm doing that at the same time because I don't know how to do one thing at the same time. So I'm always multitasking. So I have to listen and do that with my hands at the same time, or looking a movie and doing that, or looking a movie and reading at the same time. So I can't do anything about it. Here, behind me, that's the magical closet. All my glasses, all my vases, all pieces of silvery candlestick. I mean, some with value, some with no value, just nice designs. Most of them are here, but there is 2 at the closet because, of course, I have a lot. That's the only problem with my work, is I have a lot of plates, and some woman has a lot of bags and a lot of clothes. I don't have a dressing huge, but I have a huge dressing of plates, I can tell you. The house is decorated in a very, I think I would say simple way, because I had kept few of the fabrics. 1 or 2 rooms are still identical from when I found it. Of course, I redone them a bit, or I rewash them and restore them. For the rest, it's mainly my fabrics, my prints, or some, you know, like in this living room, I wanted something quite calm on the wall, so it's that quite beige, gray, and it was very important for me to feel like I didn't do much. I don't like when you feel that you do a lot of decoration, and that's a bit what I try to do in my work, is that you never feel how hard it is behind. It's quite natural. And it's a house who has been done with memories and souvenirs. I had a lot of things of my grandmother, a lot of things of families, a lot of things of that I bought in some trips, or that I had from many years when I was young, that I kept it with me. It's not maybe great things, it's not expensive things, but they're all things that give me memories of life. And this is what I want for my house. It's places that talks to me and where I feel it's my house, it's personal, it's authentic. Well, the most challenging was basically electricity, because when we took the house, the electricity was still on a thread at the old ways of the 19th century, which is completely illegal. And without breaking all the house, we had to go back to those lines and redo everything. So it gave a lot of work without trying not to destroy half of the house. So yeah, it's not something that you can see, but it's something who was quite annoying to do. So this was for the living room, and now let's go and see the kitchen, which is actually one of my favorite place in the house, where I spend the most of the time. Those are my collection of baskets. I have many, and I have much more even here. So you have all my baskets here, and actually this is where I do my flowers arrangement always. So I pick them up in the garden, and then I start to do my arrangement. I spend a lot of time in that place, especially I love it. And I'm surrounded by my collection of glasses and cups and all my vases, and you know, it's usually a big mess on the floor. I tidy it up a bit for you, but I will finish it later and show you. And here is my little kitchen, which is super high ceiling, so it's super fresh on the summer and quite cozy in the winter. I have all my collection here of the barbotine that I'm collecting years after years. I have a lot in my house all around, but a lot here too. Here is the table where we have the breakfast with the children and all the family. We can be around 8 or 9 around the table, so you know, breakfast is always easy because we never wake up at the same time. And we have all the croissants and the fruits and everything. I have lots of plates and little details like that. They all have their little napkins where their names. So, you know, most of them study in university and everything. And when they come home, the little details that make them feel really home. And that beautiful tablecloth is also from the East countries. I love it. It's all handmade. It's a mix from mom design, collections, plates that I had since ever from my grandparents, or things that I found at the flea market, things from Dior Maison. It's a real mix. Lots of wicker, all my vegetables, and the garden just behind. And what I love is that during the summer, if it's not warm enough, we can still have the breakfast, all doors open on that view and on that garden. And I can tell you it's really nice to have your coffee in front of that for the first shadows of sun in the summer, in the spring, when it's a bit chilly to have it outside, but still you want to have it a bit inside. So here is a bit where I have all the stocks for the breakfast, the cups, for the coffee, the mugs, lots of things that I'm collecting. Those were to mom, I love them. And we have a whole service like that with the cups. Those also were in the family. And then we have Zara Home and Dior Maison mixing together. I mean, I love those kind of mixing. It's never really the same. I have a lot of choice because I love it. But there are things a bit rare, things beautiful, and more things like, I mean, those, they are totally divine. They are Japanese barbotine. They're so exquisite. And I serve the coffee in those. And I love them. Let me show you. I mean, I love those too. Look at, even those are beautiful. But look at that. I think this is so exquisite. Wait, let me not break everything because I'm super clumsy. But look at that. We even have the little frog on it. So cute. I mean, yeah, it's my favorite. This one is really my favorite. I do very careful when I use it. And I have things a bit more original as well, like those with the mummy and the baby giraffe. I think it's cute to have a coffee there. All my little jungle. I love them. I have the hippo, I have the tiger, I have the elephants. Those are found in England in the flea market. It's a kind of mix. It's a mix. It's the story of a life. This room was completely closed with a ceiling. I opened all the ceiling because there was like a second floor on the top where they used to stock some suitcase. So we completely opened it. So we have that huge ceiling. And then I painted in a very light green because I love green and I wanted the greenery of outside to reflect here. But I kept the ceramic here, which are old ones. I kept it and I made it work to match it, the rest of it. So yeah, and I restored the floors and the plumbly and all the windows and everything. I started my career, I was an internship very young and I started to work at Emmanuel Ungaro. I was not even 17 years old. I've always been passionate about creativity, about fashion, about decoration. It was something that occupied, all my life as a young girl. And I always knew that I wanted to work in a big house. It was something that, I don't know, I had in my head since I'm 10 years old. And yeah, I started with Emmanuel Ungaro for 10 years. It was beautiful. He was an amazing master. I learned so much with him. But I not only learned about fashion, I learned about how to mix the prints, how to dare to do things that you would never even think about it, how to go to the flea market, because he and his wife Laura was spending so much time in the flea market, finding beautiful pieces, fabrics, but also things for the tables, that, you know, being with them so young, of course, made my eyes, you know, change and react differently. And also what I learned with them is that having a house like Emmanuel Ungaro and doing fashion, it's not only about clothes or about what you wear. It's about lifestyle. What you have in your house, it's the way you wear it. And I think, you know, Christian Dior used to say that your house is the reflection of your soul. And I think this is true. Everything starts in the house, and then you go outside and you get dressed, and this is what you show outside. But your soul is in your house, is the way you are. And I can tell you, when I enter the house of someone, it's something that I can tell a lot about the person. So yeah, I learned all of those with them, and they were an amazing couples to work with. I met there Giambattista Valli, who's an amazing also you know, creative director and designer. Today he has his own brand that I love to wear. And from there, I started my brand for children and my own brand. And then LVMH came to see me to say, could you help us with Baby Dior? And I was doing both for a big time. And then I started to have Dior Maison. I stopped my brand. And I started to be really Dior Maison and Baby Dior. I had never done interiors before. And my boss, Cine Toledano, said, no, you are good for that. And I said, but I never did any interiors. I don't know how to do homeware. I just love, you know, prints. And he said, yeah, I'm sure your prints will go very well on plates. And he knew better than me what was good for me. And I think that was a great boss, and I follow him. And yeah, now it's 9 years at Dior Maison, 15 years for Baby Dior. I'm doing both. I love to settle also all the big tables for the big parties for Dior all around the world, something that I love to do because it changes and it's for one night and then it disappears. It's like a dream. And on the side, I have my own studio that I started a few years ago, and I'm doing some private houses, I'm doing restaurants, hotels. I take only few because I don't have that much time. So here we are upstairs. This is the first floor. We have a few rooms here. So I'm going to show you mine. And all this hallway is done with fabric that I had designed with Maison Thévenon. And all those drawings are done, except this one, which is Warhol, which is a lithography from Warhol. The rest are designs done by my mom. So it's actually my mom corridor with all the designs. And here you have my wedding dress from Emmanuel Ungaro, who was designed by Emmanuel Ungaro. So lots of drawings. And come Mowgli. This is my boudoir. This is where I spend time also watching movies and reading. I actually love that room. That's a carpet that my grandmother done by hand. I have lots of family picture. I have that beautiful little office that my mother got from her father. So from my grandfather, this is where I write thanks letters and ideas, and I work there a lot. During the lockdown, I was working here a lot. I love those alcoves. They were here. They're authentic from origin, and I had put a little painting there. Just one. I love those flowers like that on the frame. And here we have a Venetian mirror that I love. I love Venetian's objects since always. I have some in Paris. And this one is a lamp that my mom had on her desk. And inside, they come from Venetian. They have lots of little people and animals. And I could give names to all of them when I was young. So I was staying next to her office and looking for them for hours and telling stories about them. So yeah, I kept it there. There's no more electricity. There's nothing. It's just decorative, but there are memories, and this is what I love about this house, is all the memories that are from here. It's actually the smallest room in the house, but very often at night, we have a big TV room, but I don't know why. This is probably the place where we are all a lot and spending time a lot, and very often the kids come, and this is where we have also, study conversation and big decisions, and it's very relaxed. It's a place where, we watch movie together. Sometimes when I'm alone with my daughter, we watch girls' movies and the boys are upstairs. So it's really a special room for me, and I love the idea to have a little living room stick to my bedroom. I think it's super important when you have a big family as well, to be able, when you can, of course, it's a very big luxury and I'm conscious of it, to protect a bit yourself, having a bit your space. And this is my space, our space. This was here. When I had the house, I told you I had 2-3 rooms who had fabrics that I kept. And this is one of the rooms that I kept the fabric because I loved it and I found it divine with the wood. So once again, we cleaned it and we restored it, but I kept it as it is. So yeah, I think when you have good pieces in a house, don't be afraid to keep them. Just make it new and fresh and washed. But I think it's always important when the house is good to keep a bit of the soul of the house and build around. When I put a space or an interior together, first of all, I need to be sure to really know the person that I'm doing it for. Is it for me? Is it for a client? I need to know the person because I need to know what they like, what are their habits. And also, I stay a lot in the room. I need to feel the wall. I need the house to talk to me. I know how strange it is, but I need to see how the light gets in the room. When a house is not in the city, I need to understand how the garden will connect also to the house. It's something that is very important to me. Gardens are as important as the inside, so it's really a communication between the two. And then I start to walk around. Of course, I do the walls and the curtain, but I would say that is the easy part because we have such a beautiful choice of patterns and colors. But then it's what you put inside who makes the difference. It's how you match together the curtains with the fabric of the sofa, with the carpet, and until what point you can dare and until what point you can follow some rules or not. I'm not someone who follows rules. I like accidents. I like things who doesn't sometimes match together because I found that more natural. I think decoration which are too perfect is too much decoration. And I like the people to feel that they are home and that they kind of made it themselves and that it's not someone who worked a lot behind to make it so perfect. So that's a bit the way I work. And here is the bedroom. So I want it very fresh. I love green, as you can see. The fabric on the wall are designed by me. It's done by the studio. It's Natalia's print, we call it. It's in green, and we have it at Thévenot as well. And I mixed it with another print that I had done for the curtains. I wanted flowers on the wall. Yeah, I'm obsessed with flowers, but it's not about that. It's more that I wanted my head to be really relaxed in my room. I don't want anything who comes and disturbs my thoughts. And sometimes when you have very big landscape or faces of people, they can a bit disturb you during your sleep. So I think to have a good sleep, you need a good bed and a very quiet room. And for me, this room is very quiet. You can hear the water out of the window. I have a double exposition on my garden, the sun who goes up and down. Only few books. I'm a very big reader. I just keep the books that I love next to me or the one that I'm reading because too much book can make your dreams a bit busy. I have 2 little offices, one which is what we call in France a office of minister office. It was in the family. It doesn't really fit here, but I kind of like that it doesn't fit here. And it's very useful to work, to design. And I love the idea to have the view on my dahlias. And I love the idea to have a second one on the other side to have the view on my garden. So two little offices to, you know, sit and think. I don't really work on offices, but I like to sit and look. And I'm someone who can look for hours. This is my bed. So on the bed, you can see I have very old bed sheets. So my bed, I'm a big bed lover. I can really stay for hours in bed. I'm quite lazy. People think I do a lot of things, but I'm so lazy. Those bed linen, I found them in flea market. I love old ones, I know, and sometimes I even transform them to put the duvet inside. So I make them duvet holders, or I put it just under a very simple white duvet, can be from any kind, not expensive, very simple, and just fold the top of the bed like that. It makes the bed super chic and nice and elegant, and it doesn't, you know, it's not something which is crazy. I love having lots of pillows. I take them out at night, but I found it very nice. And what you see here are laces, Italian laces. I completely took the idea from a woman that I love her decoration, Marella Agnelli. She was doing those kind of beds in her houses with Mongiardino, who was a very big interior designer. And I got very influenced by it. So I love it that way. And here you have two commodes. I didn't want small side tables because, you know, I like to have all my things, my files, my notes, my books, my water, my creams next to it. I tidied up a bit for you, but usually I have a bit of creams and those kind of things. So I think it's nice when it's not a guest room to have big side table where you can put a bit your life on it. This is the way I live. Those are lamps, which are actually where table fits, Italian table fits that I transform in lampshades. So here again, a Venetian commode that I love, that I actually got for my 40s. And little vases that I got also as present from someone that I love. And that little statue was given to me by my grandmother, and it was actually to her mom. So it's to my grandmother. It was in Athens, in their house. And I spent a lot of my childhood with my grandmother, and she learned me, she gave me the love of lecture, of literature. And I was a big reader. I'm still a big reader. I love books. Books are definitely my best friends for everything. Between going out to dinners and staying home and looking at books or reading books, my choice is very quickly done. And so she thought it was looking a lot like me when I was a young girl. She gave it to me, I was maybe 10 or 12. So it went from my little girl room to my teenager room to a mom-to-be room. And it was always there. Sometimes I could change houses or life, but she was still here, like a reminder for where I come and, you know, my passions and my values. And my grandmother gave me a lot of values in life, and so she's very important to be there. She's actually still in life, but she's important to remind me always in front of my bed who I am. So that's why I cherish that statue a lot. And it's actually one of the corners that I love the most because I'm playing with my flowers and the tulips in the spring and the dahlias and the roses, and you can see the season on that table improving. And I think when I go to bed and I see that, it makes me very happy. That carpet is from my grandmother on the other side, on my father's mother, and she also all embroidered by hand. She was doing a lot of embroideries, and I love having it there, especially the print with those flowers. You can see on the first floor, I have a lot of that carpet. It's actually something which is in the whole house, except the living rooms where we have the ultimate. It's something very basic, who's very resistant for the countryside, even in Paris, even in the city. It's very chic because it's neutral. I mean, rattan and wicker is always the chicest. It goes with everything, so that's why I'm using those a lot in my project, but also for me. They are very resistant and they match everything. I found them very chic, so you have a lot of those with me. I think inspiration is like a muscle. The more you use it and the more, it works alone. It's like people who run, they just start to run and it's easy for them because they run every day and they are used to it, their heart are used to it. Well, it's the same. The brain of imagination is a muscle. It works alone and sometimes it gets a bit more tired, needs a bit of rest, but there's not something that inspires me really. Of course, I'm more connected when I'm here in my house or in the mountains than the city, because when I have too much information and I'm too much in a rush, my head is not working as well. And I'm much more faster when we leave me alone and we let me be alone, and then I can deliver. But because my muscle goes in. But it's like flashes that I have, and sometimes I have flashes in the morning or at night, and I have to write them immediately because if not, I lost it. So sometimes I just see the room in front of me, or I see a dress that I want to do for baby Dior, and I just needed to put it right, note it immediately. If not, it's gone. It takes 5 seconds and I forgot it. And my room gives on a little bathroom, which is quite simple. So the room connects directly to the little bathroom. I'm crazy of baths, so I have a big bath that I love. All mirrors that I stole probably from mom or my grandmother from mom's side. Little table sides around the place where we brush teeth and little lampshades. And I love having fabrics in the bathroom because I'm always cold. So I love having fabrics around me in a bathroom. And actually, in the 70s, we also used to put carpets on the floor. I mean, if it was me, I would even have put carpets, but we told me, no, that's too dirty. So we went with fabrics only. But it's super cozy, and I love that it's all the Japanese flowers that I use also at Dior a lot. Mr. Dior used to love Japan, and those cherry flowers, I love them. We have a lot of cherry tree here. So again, it's a conversation between the garden and my house, and that's what is important. And English people, they always take care more of the gardens than the interiors, and that is something that sometimes French forgets, and they match the garden to the interiors. I think it's nature who should, the house should adjust to nature and not the opposite. So that's why I have little touches of the garden on the walls here at the countryside. I love having nice details in the bathroom. It's not because it's a bathroom that we shouldn't have nice pieces. Love those perfumed flacons, which are completely decorative, but they're very nice here. Little things for my perfume, brushes, old brushes, and things to put, the toothpaste and everything. It's little details, but I like them pretty, and I like to take time to find those little details. Like those things to put the cotton and everything. I think makes a difference in the bathroom. And from the morning, the bathroom is the first thing that you see when you wake up. And I think when you see beauty since the morning and things that put you a bit of attention and makes you happy for the day. So I think it's outside is sometimes too ugly. So, I cherish the little pieces that makes me happy at home. I'm a very big fan of dining room. Maybe it will change. I think that I don't like too much formal. I'm not someone very formal in life, and I love the way that when we are cooking, we can have dinner at the same time, and we are not disconnected from the kitchen, probably because my son is a chef, my older one, I don't know. But I like to be in the kitchen. I find it more cozy. And even when I have friends, on a Saturday night and they have, they come and have dinner, I like them to have them around, that I am able to cook or to have, someone helping me to do the food, but that I'm not disconnected. And I think I grew up too much in dining room with my grandparents. It was quite formal. even if they were the best, but they were the kind of like kids are there to be seen and not heard. And I think I got a bit like, oh, I don't want that for my family. And so I put everybody in the kitchen and there's no formality. Also, I think that today spaces are more and more hard to have big spaces, and I think it's much better to have a room, an extra room for a kid, or more place for living room, for living house, than to have just a dining room where you just spend your meals. And I rather put a big kitchen with a dining room inside. I always try to have big kitchens and to have a place there with a banquette or a little table round with some chairs around. I do love banquettes, you know, I love those bench, very comfortable, where you can come and stay and sit and have lunch, but then stay and work. Kitchen is a family room. It's a place where, you know, you spend most of the time, for me. And I always ask my client what they want to do about it, and I always push them a bit to have a nice place in the kitchen, to have a long breakfast, have long talks, to be able to do multitasking, because I think I'm a multitasking girl. I think that my house signature scent is the grass, the cutting grass, because it's all surrounded by grass. And of course, I have a few magical candles that I love that I'm opening. I think it's very important in a house that your 5 senses are opened. I mean, I always said that something which is a success is when the 5 senses are up. So it's the same when I do a decoration for a party, or for when I present a collection, or when people enter your house. The 5 senses, never forget one of them, because that means you are not complete in your work. So in the little house opposite, we do have a big dining room, and let's go and see how the dinner is getting ready. So this is what we call actually the gardener house, and this is where we have the big meals for lunch, dinner. When we are not in the garden, we can be a lot. Sometimes we put another table and we are even bigger here. Sometimes we could be until 50 in that place. So it's a bit the multitask place. We have 3 rooms here of guests. We have baby food and things upstairs. And here is the dinner table, very easy and cozy for the dinner. That's a very simple table that we do for casual dinners on a Saturday night for the family. I love those plates, because those plates were actually my first one at Dior Maison. And they're all about the garden of Mr. Dior, Milly la Forêt. So you have the clover, you have the daisy, you have the little coccinelle, who's good luck, the butterflies. I mean, all the cards of the house are here. With old vintage glasses from Dior Maison, from my mom, and very old knife and fork that I copy from Christian Dior. They were from Christian Dior. It's an antique who found it to me. They were from the years of Mr. Dior himself. I collect a lot of things who belongs to him. And then we reproduce them for Dior Maison, and we call them les ronds-points. So we don't have them in green, but we have them in silvery, we have them in colors. Those are really beautiful in green malachite. I love using them. And then I have the little plates for the bread with the little clover. I use little laces that I found in Italy. I always find that more sophisticated, those little things, especially when I don't use a tablecloth and I don't use any sets. I love using the wood direct. I found that more casual when we have a family dinner like that. I use the silver candlesticks. They always give a lot of glow to the table, even if we're just us. I always said that silvery on the table is like putting earrings for us women. It gives glow and elegance. And I use a lot of little vases with the flowers of the garden. I don't really think in advance of what kind of flowers. I do the flowers, then I put the plates, and this is how I do my dinners for the day-to-day I mean, very simple. I'm not thinking about it too much. It's quite easy to do. It's not a table. I don't do the table the same way when I have to think a lot about a beautiful dinner setting or a birthday or a party for Dior. That, of course, is a lot of thinking, mood boards, and having the perfect plates and the perfect flowers and the perfect vases. No, here it's family, it's about friendship, it's things come from the heart, it's quickly done. I have no time to think about it. I'm just picking up plates and putting flowers in vases, and sometimes it works nicely and sometimes it's a disaster, and it's fine. I mean, we're there to spend nice times. My napkins are done with the crest of the family, French family, so we have those things in France. Those ceramics, I love them. They come from a man who sells them in Normandy. I really love them. I love to have pieces like that, and I have little wood, glasses vases that are alternate to give a bit of lightning to the place. I love mixing the glasses and the colors. I use candles at night, never in the day. And then I will put the little pots for mustard and salt and pepper and little bottles for the olive oil. And so the table is yummy, and not only nice, because it has to be also yummy, a table. We always have the fireplace at night, and we often open the candles and have a lot of lightning at the candles. In a room, and especially when we have dinner, and in the place that I do, when we do a room or when I do a project, 50% of the project is about lighting. I mean, if the lighting is bad, everything is going to go bad. So it's very, very important. My love, what's going on? You want to go and play. I know you want to play in tennis with your brother, and he didn't bring you to play tennis because you have a problem, my love. You broke your paw. What can I do, my love? What can I do? This is a disaster. You cannot play tennis. You are having a disaster. You are a spoiled rat. You are having a disaster. Disaster. Yeah, so I love those 4 pieces, which are Venetian. They are Venetian Four Seasons, the Four Seasons by Venetian paintings with Fortuny fabrics. I really love those, and they were perfect to match that long wall on the top. I had no idea what to put, so I found those, and I said, oh, well, actually, they will be great here. This room is a mix of curtains that I got back from my grandmother's house in Paris, a carpet, like a small kitchen, super easy to do, just so we have a kitchen here when we are cooking for the dinner here, plates on the wall, very simple painting of white on the wall, and a big table to put the buffet when we are a lot like this weekend. It's really nothing crazy. It's done with things here and there. I didn't really decorate that place. I just put it like that. The decoration itself was the high ceiling, that color blue that I had put and, repainted. It was already a blue, but I repainted a bit less pushy. Mowgli, no, mon bébé. You cannot go out. Viens, viens, viens. And those stones on the wall. So, it's very easygoing, that carpet, off-white, the stones on the wall, a touch of blue, but it was not, something that I thought about a lot. It's something very practical, which I wanted very family and relax. I don't really have tips because I don't really have rules. I follow a bit my instinct for every room, and I always tell people, just do it how you feel it. I mean, don't start to do, I should do like this or like that. Just do it like you want. This is your house. It's the way you want. And then if you want advice, we're here. We can help you out. But I don't have really tips. Trust your guts and then think about it. And this is the value that I have for everything in my life. But there's no really tips, just dare. I think daring is important for everything, and especially when you create your own house, because If you are too serious or you restrict yourself, this is not you anymore. So I take you now in my garden. This is where I'm cutting some of my flowers for my arrangement. We are in autumn. This is the end of the flowers. The garden is going to get asleep. Yes, yes, Aska. Yes, the garden is going to get asleep very quickly. And we are having the last flowers of the season, dahlias especially. Elle peut rester avec moi. So we have a beautiful, very old apple tree. I was talking to you about it. That's why we have the coffee table with those apples sculpted. This is about it. And we have small details. You can see those two goose here. I love having little objects full of fun, you know. I never take too seriously things. I mean, I always want to have a bit of fun. And so they're here and they're having a conversation and we're having a big history about them with the kids, like private jokes. And so we have the Gora, we have the Frutelias, the Fuchsias, the last Cosmos, the Japanese anemones that I love for arrangement. Unfortunately, they don't last a lot, but those fuchsia, they do beautiful in vases. They just fall like that. They're so romantic. Sometimes I just put them in one vase, just them, like a queen, so they can have it all. They're like bells. I am in love with those. There's the beautiful ferns that I love, also doing arrangement with some ferns. We have here cherry blossom. I was talking to you, I can see it from my bathroom. That's so reflecting with the fabric of my bathroom. And this is my little greenhouse where I'm putting now all the pots and the oranges and the lemon trees, and everything is staying warm, and all the geraniums are inside, getting ready for the winter so they don't get frost. And yeah, the garden is going to fall tiny by tiny, sleeping for the winter and get all beautiful for next summer. You have amazing rosemary here. It's so good. I love doing veal scallops and chicken with it and potatoes. It's so good. We have a lot, and I'm doing infusion with it, with warm water, and I'm putting infusion of rosemary. It's super good. It's not very common, super good. Look at those dahlias, they're amazing. Well, it depends of the season, depends of the time that I have, but few hours, at least a week, yes, for sure. For sure. I love being in my garden. I love taking care of it. It's a therapy for me. Look at those. I cannot cut it. It's too beautiful. I mean, they would be so beautiful in a vase. The more you cut the dahlias, the more they come. But now this is the end of it. So the more I will cut them and the more they won't come back, for sure. But this one is falling apart. Et voilà! And I'll cut this one for you. Look at that! Woo! Café au lait. It's beautiful. Love it. That is going to go straight in a vase alone. She's a standalone girl. She's beautiful. Look at those. We're going to put it in a vase. It's so beautiful. Look at those. I mean, this is like art. Love those. Well, my garden and I is a very big love story. You know, I was always in love with gardens, always in love with flowers, but I knew nothing about it. 6 years ago, I was like clueless, really. I had to start it from scratch. I had a great landscape designer who done a big part of the garden. And, you know, sometimes he was looking at me like, no, like, you cannot ask me to put those flowers next to those. It doesn't work. And I was like, why? And now that I think about the question, of course, I'm laughing because I learned. So there's no, you know, there's always a beginning to everything. And now I'm completely, you know, it's really my passion. It's something that, it's more than just a passion. It's changed my life. It's changed the way I am. I was someone who was always very afraid of the tomorrows. always having a lot of superstition to take a plane ticket in advance and everything. And now I have to plan my garden 6 months in advance, because if I don't plant in October, there's no spring. So I learned to go over that and to believe in tomorrow, and to believe in tomorrow. So it changed a lot of things also in my way of thinking and my way of handling my anxiety. So the garden has a part in front of very French, quite neutral, with some squares and some, trees, very symmetrical, which we call very Frenchy. And behind, it's a very English garden that I was inspired by English gardens, and I'm in love with English gardens. So I try to do a mini one, and it's very romantic. It's like a secret garden. So what is atypical with the house? It's up a hill, so we have the land around, and we can have a very beautiful view from one point of view with the forest in front of us. So the front of the house is very 18th century, with a very French garden, with grass and a little bench, quite tidy. In front we have the flower farm with that view of all the dahlias, tulips, and flowers that are cutting flowers that I'm growing here. We have more than 1 hectare of growing flowers, so it's quite a work. And behind we have the beautiful English garden with squares, the little greenhouse, the places where we have lunch. Very nice handmade here gates, home done gates to open little other garden, and one huge meadow with apple tree who goes into the church of the village. It's a very, I always say it's a very Jane Austen view there. I love lots of flowers. I don't know if I could really have one, but of course dahlias are something that I really love since always, and I love their shape and their craziness and the way they talk together. And I must say that I have a crush on irises as well. I love irises, and I'm actually doing a small irises garden now. I'm working on it. Well, what we have great with Mr. Dior and I, we're very good friends because we connect about gardens. He was a very good gardener. He loved gardens. I think his imagination was coming from there. All his dresses was named of flowers. The colors was inspired by the flowers, the shapes, the prints. We knew that it was really something, nature was something very important in his childhood that he transferred in his collection. So of course this connection between him and me is a very strong connection, and it's a very nice conversation that we're having for many years now. I want people, when they step in my house, to feel well. This is the only thing that I want. I want them to feel safe, they feel happy, that they feel quiet, serenity. Don't you think serenity is the most important thing that we need now in this world? I don't care if they look the decoration, if they like it or not. It's not about the decor, it's how they feel the energy, if they're feeling safe, if they're feeling relaxed, if they had a good time. I think this is the most luxury thing that I can have, is that people would feel well in the house.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.